Welcome back, everyone. Immortals took a Game 1 victory in only 27 minutes, capitalizing off of a pick on Shrimp and a very decisive Baron grab, but they are firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and I think that Pobelter's a big part of this in the mid lane. We saw a couple team fights where it looked like it was going to be a disaster. Even the one where he dies and he gets popped into the team, he still gets his combo off. He gets to laser and he gets to ultimate immediately, so he's always making the best of bad situations. And he's kind of been doing that his entire career, right? Even when he's been on teams that have not been successful, he's still making the best of those situations. And when he's not given resources, it's the same thing. He's a very versatile player, and he's honestly a big team player.
Yeah, he certainly has. His opponent on the other side, though, Keen, hasn't quite had so much success when he's not on those late game champions like Cassiopeia.
Yeah, I definitely think that Keen, he's back and forth right now. The Cassiopeia was counterpicked, and they didn't save it for very last. They wanted to give Ray a good matchup. And that's the thing here with Apex is Keen was always the counterpick guy, but Ray needs safe matchups now. So on red side, you always have to think, who am I giving that all-important counterpick to? Because they ended up getting both lanes beaten in quite handily.
Yeah.
Even off of macro game, too. So there's just a lot of problems here for Apex that need to be shored up.
Yeah, and speaking of problems, Apex's bottom lane also, despite a couple of good cross-map arrows, weren't quite able to keep up with the damage of Immortals.
Yeah, and it's always really strange when you see like a split-pushing Ashe or something like that, and when Huni's able to take off and kill Apollo in the side lane, that's a little bit of a problem because the Ashe should always be down lanes, waiting from Fog of War. Like if you're pushing a side lane, they have full vision of you. They know where you're shooting that arrow. It's not that same element of surprise. And then you look at Xpecial, and Xpecial, well, not the same type of engages. He had a really good bubble and wave combo, and then they weren't all in position. And it was a 4-on-5 at the start. So it's one of those fights that if you use all of your abilities and you don't have the damage follow-up there, then you essentially wasted them.
Yeah.
And that's why Immortals were able to turn it around in that one river fight.
He did pull off the elusive Nami flank, though, with the bubble tidal wave to try to force the engage, in which Shrimp tried to separate it, but as we saw, Immortals did get the better of that fight. Yeah. So we'll have to see if he decides to go back towards that sort of style. Again, with Xpecial, it sort of has been that same up and down. Every once in a while, he has these exceptional performances that remind you, this is a veteran player. He's been playing for years, and he's still got these skills, but now sometimes we see these plays like the bubble flank, where it just doesn't pan out.
Yeah, and I feel like one of the big problems with Apex is they all like to play as individuals.
Yeah.
Right? Ray likes to split push, likes to get advantages, and then win the game that way. Or flank. Shrimp loves to counter jungle by himself, bully the enemy jungle. Apollo loves to farm side waves and then scale up, and people always call him like a cleanup AD carry. It's because he's never really like the guy that's starting the fights off or like right in the thick of it, the big carry. He's the guy who's been farming consistently, and that's playing by himself as well because Xpecial's off roaming. So Keen is the guy that I think that needs to bring everything together, right? He's also the translator for the team.
Yeah.
Getting everybody on the same page while still playing against somebody like Pobelter is a tall order.
It certainly is, but as you can see, bans taken away from both teams. Soraka is the change-up. They don't want Adrian on that sustained mage. Well, I guess sustained support. And first pick Karma for Apex. We'll see if that goes to Keen or Xpecial.
Yeah, dropped bans this game are the Karma and Nidalee, and the others have all stayed on the board. Karma and Nidalee subbed out for Soraka and Aurelia.
Yeah, but Ryze and Rek'Sai get through once again for Immortals, and they pick it right on up. And there's the Nidalee hover locked in by Shrimp. We talked about the featured matchup between those junglers. Looks like Gragas just not doing it for Shrimp.
Yeah, I think he needs something with a little bit more presence, faster to get around the map. Doesn't have to use a super key ability to actually get over walls.
Yeah.
And incredibly quick farmer. So if he can keep up with Reignover and stay toe-to-toe, that's going to be great. And now Apex, I assume this is a lock-in so that they can hide both their solo laners, because when you see the Ryze, you want to pick the Cassiopeia, you really do, but now you need to pick something that's safe, blind, but also okay into Ryze.
Yeah, so Nidalee and Jhin now locked in for Apex to try to keep them at a distance. Meanwhile, Immortals going to take a cue from Apex. Adrian, I don't know if he heard what Xpecial called out in the beginning of game number 1, but might be looking to say, hey, you played Nami in game number 1? I can do the same thing.
I mean, it's the same type of support style, roaming.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not roaming. Range support, different R word. Has engage and has ways to disengage. So honestly, it's more of the same here for Adrian and Wild Turtle. Whereas Wild Turtle, again, on an engage AD carry. He had the Sivir before, now he's on the Ashe, and they're both going to give him ways to start the fight off so that his solo laners can just stack damage, full damage, right? Your bottom lane should be bringing the engage. That's the current meta. And then your solo laners are just gigantic sources of damage.
Yeah, and they still have Reignover, who we know is excellent on this Rek'Sai. So he could be looking for the flash unburrows onto an unsuspecting member of Apex. Now it's up to Apex to show those solo lanes that they will have to deal with. Victor currently being hovered for Keen.
I do think they go with the Victor. I talked about you need something that's safe into Ryze, but also safe as a blind pick, so you can't pick the Cassio here. And the Victor, I think, is the right choice for Keen.
And final pickup for Apex, Hecarim locked in for Ray in the top lane.
Ray always going to try to style on people. He's always going to try to be very aggressive and to win matchups. It's a blind pick Hecarim as well. Always keep that in mind too, that this is a pick that he has full confidence in. And it's just all of these bruisers, all of these AD champions, these Trinity Force users that he is all about.
Cycling through those mid laners now. Zilean is locked in. So even if Immortals do find themselves in a bad situation, they can just Chrono shift it right on back.
Yeah, this is one of the most frustrating champions to play against when you are playing a champion that, like Hecarim or Victor, where you're just like, okay, I'm going to burst him, but he comes back, and then your cooldowns are on rotation, and they only had to use an ultimate to really stunt all of it. So it depends on how much you soak into it, or if you do have the restraint to hold off and not finish them off. So honestly, it's a fantastic pick here, and it's something that Bjergsen was just playing today as well. Like, Zilean is kind of meta in North America at the top. Seems like they might scrim each other too. Immortals and TSM.
Just might. First place and second place would make sense to see the two, as they're not playing each other for the next few weeks at least. But Apex, currently middle of the pack in the standings, trying to go for a little bit more of an aggressive style to try breaking through Immortals, who have been allowed to play their game from the get-go, from the beginning of game number 1. But as we jump into game number 2, open your Twitter app and tell the world your predictions for the outcome of this series. Apex supporters, use hashtag APXWin. And if you're rooting for Immortals, be sure to tweet IMTWin with a hashtag in the front, of course, as we load onto the Rift for game number 2 between Apex and Immortals. Will it be the quick 2-0, or will Apex be able to bring us back to a game 3?
And Apex are hoping for that game 3. They need to prove that they're a playoff team. And in a league format, being able to at least take games off of people is a good sign. But if you're able to run it back and take a series, gets you in a much better position. You need to be able to beat almost the entire field if you have any hope of being near the top or even winning the split.
Yeah, the pressure is mounting for Apex to show that they can do more than just play to Ray. And with Ray on Hecarim, that bruiser once again, and the rest of Apex in the back line, they just might be able to do it this time. Huhi, takes a pretty big spear.
Yep, Huni's not going to like that. Back off. And they try to answer in the opposite brush on the opposite side. I do think that you try to go after Huni a little bit in this game. I thought it would happen last game.
Well, there was also the extended lane swap that resulted in a very comfortable advantage for Immortals.
It messed up the map pretty hard for Apex. And I wouldn't be surprised if Immortals try to lane swap again because of how poorly Apex were able to answer the pressure.
Yeah, it looks like Apex are sending their duo to the top side, but so too are Immortals. Closest ward for Apex is in the river, and that's currently keeping an eye on Pobelter. So looks like it's double lane swap. Not going to see any fast turret takes this game, unless someone makes a serious mistake.
Or they want to dodge the matchup after they see it. They'll shove the first wave out and try to get out of it. It may be that they're trying to hide their top laners but they end up in a Australian meta.
Yeah. Upside down.
Them lane swaps, man.
Upside down lanes.
Fervor Hecarim. Okay. It got changed in the 6.12 patch when they're playing on, so it doesn't stack on abilities for 2. It's only on 1. And there's kind of a big hit to it, but also Fervor Hecarim doesn't get too many auto attacks in between until you get the Stinger for Trinity Force. It's a little odd because Storm Raiders, Surge, and Thunderlords are so potent.
Yeah. All about chasing and running those people down.
Yeah, especially against a team that has like a zillion. Like Storm Raiders Surge has extra value there.
Yeah.
But I do think that,
I mean, Huni,
it's once again aggressive.
You saw Huni with Masteries on the opposite side. He's like, you know what? I got you, Hecarim.
Yeah.
I'll take the Storm Raider Surge for you.
I'll take it.
You're going to chase people down. I'll chase you down.
Yeah, it's like there aren't any slows on Apex really that would affect that. There's kind of the gravity field and getting out of it. But otherwise, Huni is just using it to keep up with people, which is one of the beauties of Hecarim when he takes it, is it gives him extra damage too, and he can keep up with people and keep spamming Qs.
Yeah, so now that we've had a preview of the beginning of the game, a quick 2.5-minute look at what's going on, the lane swap match means that the 2 versus 2, no early turret takes, not really an opportunity for Immortals to try to look for a super early advantage unless Apex makes some sort of mistake or outplay, because we know Reignover just loves farming and invading.
Yes, he does. He loves farming and invading, and talk about it later because Keen is having an audio issue, so his headset is removed. Won't talk too much about the map at the moment. The jungler position for both sides is really interesting right now, and Ray, I mean, in this one-on-one against Huni, he's got to be careful because you don't know entirely which side they started on because everybody took a long time to show up to the lane. And they didn't get the lane swap wards either.
Yeah. Now we can talk about it. Maybe we can talk about it.
Maybe we can talk about it. Yeah. So basically, there's already pings onto the enemy jungle from Shrimp. So Shrimp is most likely going for a blue buff invade now.
We'll have to keep an eye on those junglers. Once again, this is our featured matchup between Shrimp and Reignover. Reignover, off to a pretty early start in game number 1, was able to do a lot.
And Reignover is considered one of, if not the best jungler in the North American LCS.
Yeah.
Right? Very intelligent about the game. Always plays for his team, setting them ahead. And he can have carry performances as well. Player of the game last game, right?
Yeah.
The big thing about Shrimp is that he has only played a few games in the LCS, right? Like, this is his first time having a full split as a starter. He had to play some games for Energy last split. Did you get back in the game?
Yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, this is pretty much him being a rookie and experiencing the strength of Reignover and the pressure.
Yeah.
So he's going to try to answer, and you see right there, immediately wards it up, takes the blue buff.
Yeah, clears it out. Reignover does the same on the opposite side of the map, and now Shrimp might be looking for an early gank onto Huni, who's hiding well behind those minions. This would be a long-range spear.
You'd have to pop your Ghost and then E behind Huni, and would have had to do it a second ago because now he has enough charges of his rune passive. And Reignover's going to come from behind. Typical Rek'Sai strategy, but they already warded it. They did a great job already. And he's still going to go for it.
Okay, forward. Reignover flash, knock up onto Apollo, who dodges the bubble despite the exhaust. So, first gank attempt from Reignover.
Yeah, they still chunk him out, too. So, is Reignover going to walk right back around? He may. But he's going to go stop for the Scuttle Crab really quickly because Shrimp is on his way. They saw Shrimp walk through the lane.
Oh, he's actually going to find this Rek'Sai. Spear goes wide. With red buff, it's burning down, so he does get some damage. Oh.
It doesn't even clear the tunnel either. It just doesn't want to waste time there because the top lane, or I guess the duo lane, was on its way.
Oh, he still sees
they
that
didn't
push,
ward
though.
this. They didn't ward this. They didn't ward this.
Immortals have to know he's there. Flash tether finds Adrian. He's still got his own. No, he's caught by the snare. First blood onto Shrimp. Slow. Finds Wild Turtle. He's got heal. Uses it to keep himself alive, but eats a large chunk.
So Shrimp gets to walk out of the pit over the Scuttle Crab, but he walks diagonally down. And we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, ganks the mid lane. Keen eats some damage, but Rainover with the counter gank dissuades any further pressure.
Yeah. So Shrimp was actually very smart about the vision that Immortals had, because when he walked over the Scuttle Crab from the Rift Herald pit, he went down and to the left, so it looked like he was going to go check his blue buff or go check his Gromp, and then he went immediately up afterwards. So he made a zigzag, went down left, then straight up, and went right through. And they had already burned Adrian's flash and his exhaust in the previous engagement that was disengaged by Apex, and they get that first blood. So Shrimp off to a great start.
We'll have to see if he can continue it, as Rainover tried to answer his second gank of the game. Again, not successful, not able to burn any summoner spells from Keen, as Huni on recall, looking for that tier, doesn't quite have enough to build it, despite having to teleport back in the lane, and Ray will be able to catch up in CS. Ooh, that's 350 range, not 375. Missed it by that much.
It's about 350. Not always enough, though. And Hecker, it's interesting because sometimes it does a lot of damage and you feel like it's a devastating ability, and sometimes
It just kind of tickles him.
it tickles the minions. And he can't even go up against Huni now, but they're going to try to get a special in here. Shrimp walking
he's
up
trying
for
to build
Rainover.
up those runic charges, and Rainover again
Yeah.
with the map sense, counter ganks, and Huni is allowed to walk out safely.
And you can see Apollo and Xpecial go down to the bottom side of the map, and then immediately Wild Turtle and Adrian back and answer in kind. And this is mostly because of the fact that you need to catch this minion wave, and Huni's going to go up top and get that one, but Hecarim will get there a little bit faster. It's really interesting because Apex get here sooner, so there's a couple minions missed out by Immortals, but Immortals are overall just farming better in that bottom lane.
Still just a little bit up in CS. You can see Apollo missing a few minions here and there, but he's doing a pretty good job for that Jhin so far, as the junglers once again return to the same side of the map. Rainover clearing out, and there's actually an aggressive ping out of Shrimp. He says, I'm on my way, I'm going in.
Yeah, the Nidalee was banned in game 1, and it looks like for good reason, because he's performing pretty well on it. His route is good. He's down in CS, but he's still causing pressure.
Yeah.
If you can keep tabs on Rainover, then you're doing your job as the jungler.
Oh, Rainover has a smite, so does Shrimp, as Ray is forced to take some damage from Huni, who is level 6.
Yeah, he hit 6. He didn't realize it.
Oh, misses that overload, but he still gets some good damage. Ray levels up! Oh, and Onslaught's out.
Yeah, Huni had flash there. If he was able to flash, follow up, land another ability, then it would have been the death of Ray. Levels up from the minions on the side and gets away.
Yeah. And he missed that one overload, despite having snared Ray. That might have been enough to secure the kill, but Apex send their duo back towards the top side as Ray heads down to the bottom. Keep away, keep away.
Hey, early turrets now.
Yep.
Finally, the lane swap becomes an actual swap for the fast turret pushes, but Immortals are much further ahead already again. Same thing.
Yeah, turret secured very quickly for Immortals. Ray trying to catch up in CS. Meanwhile, Apollo and Xpecial on the other side of the map, they've only just now made it towards that top tier 1 turret. Ray,
Ray's got to be careful.
Stops the recall.
Look at Wild Turtle's experience. He is so close to 6. If he hits 6, they will engage this with an arrow.
Yeah, Rainover's
like
down
100%.
there. He gets level 6. There goes the arrow. Ray doesn't have an escape. No ghost. He's going to be knocked up by Rainover. This is a kill for Immortals.
Yeah, they were already heading towards that boss side. Ray was hanging out there, and that level 6 comes through. He was not expecting that level 6 either. Like, Ray is just like, why is everybody hitting 6? Right as I'm there. No ghost, no onslaught of shadows. Pretty much guaranteed kill at that point. And look at that, the fast push. Shrimp is on the top side of the map, handing off blue to Keen. And this is going to be a 2-for-1 trade in turrets. And Apex don't even have enough pressure to push out the top side. They're going to have to try to make a play onto like Pobelter and take over the top side jungle.
Yeah, instead they're going to try taking over this topside jungle, as you mentioned. The 2 turrets go down for Apex, leading to 1,000 gold lead. Red spawns, but Rainover's on his way. His jungle sense is tingling, and he gets out. So
He tunnels over the wall. It's like,
Yeah.
I see 3.
Abort!
Get out of here.
Abort, abort. And now they do have a lot of vision on that side, and
They should siege mid right now, handing off the blue.
Oh, but Apex going to try to head Immortals off at the pass. Shrimp in the front eats a lot of damage. Huni takes a snare. He's got his own flash. Bullets dodged. Oh, and he makes it over the wall.
So he even uses flash for that as well. Not conservative at all. He just says, you know, it's better to do this and just disengage it. Doesn't hold it. Doesn't get greedy.
Yeah, and that's Immortals able to defend their tier 1 due to Apex's pressure in the jungle and escape with their lives. Now Immortals are pressuring the top side of the map. Wild Turtle looking for yet another tier 1 turret as Apex do the same on the opposite side. Standard lane swap just a few minutes later with bigger items means faster turret takes. And take a look at Wild Turtle's build. He's going for the fast turret rush.
Yeah, he's got the BF sword, and then he has Zerker Greaves completed already, the extra attack speed on that since it got buffed, and then double dagger. Doubling down on that attack speed.
They could try to turn this into yet another double turret take, looking for the inhibitors. As Apollo, Xpecial, and Shrimp escort the minion wave. It's a long way for their next one. I don't know if they have enough damage here, but Immortals are doing the same on the opposite side. The tier 2 already goes down.
It's 3 and 4. Like, Ray is mid lane right now. He's in the mid lane. He's not accomplishing too much. Now he's running towards the top side. You can see the minimap in the middle of your screen at the bottom. And
Apex are just too slow. They're actually going to lose this inhibitor turret. Ray is rushing down there. He's got the Onslaught of Shadows, but it's too late, and it goes down. Immortals again get the better of Apex in the turret trade.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, because Apex, it happens again in almost exactly the same fashion here, except that Ray is a little bit up in CS. That's the only real difference that we're seeing here. And Immortals have done this now on both sides of the map.
Yeah.
They have 2 tier 2s down at 12 minutes, 11 minutes. We'll call it 11 minutes here. That's insane. They have 3 of those harder to take turrets already gone. And that's off of Apex not responding fast enough, not anticipating the aggression of Immortals.
Belter, you can see, not even scared of Keen, Apollo, and Shrimp, 3 primary damage dealers trying to bully him out in the mid lane. He's been CSing up, building towards that Rod of Ages, which he's now completed.
Now, Wild Turtle is a lot of this lead, too. Like, I'm just looking at the gold distribution. He's 1,000 gold up.
Holy wow.
And then, like, everybody else is kind of even, / 200, 300. And then the supports. So it's mostly this bottom lane just bullying. And Wild Turtle picking up that kill was rather big. It wasn't even a first blood, right? The first blood went over to Shrimp. And that gold is equalized by just the turret gold.
Whoa. Huni trying to get a little sneaky with the vision, but is spotted out by Apex. This is a large minion wave, but he's not quite going to get the chance to freeze it.
Wild Turtle's by himself. If Ray makes a move right now, he may be able to kill him. If he doesn't go now, though, Adrian will be there in time.
Phage is completed, and Adrian catches up. The hesitation from Apex, not only in the team play, but now in the solo play. Ray, can't believe I'm saying this, doesn't dive the AD carry.
Yep. Maybe a little bit scarred. I don't know. But also, he's up against double teleport.
Whoa!
Shrimp!
Immortals collapse on Shrimp in the jungle and make him pay, stealing the kill and the red buff.
Another kill to Turtle. And the Cloud Drake is now live. Huni gets to sit in the top lane and continue to farm up and catch up to where Ray was.
Yeah. He does have his teleport, but didn't need to use it for that fight. Cloud Drake is going to be secured by Immortals. As once again, these guys seem to be firing on all cylinders, getting the better of the turret swap, getting the better of the invades.
Yeah, and we talked about it at the start where Immortals, you know, they get a lot of flack. They got a lot of flack for being 17-1, and by the end of the spring split, even before playoffs, people were like, they're kind of slipping, you know, they don't look as clean against these teams. What's happening to them? It's like, no, teams just get a little bit better, and it doesn't look as easy for these guys. And Immortals, they only dropped 1 set to TSM that went 3 games, right? And that game honestly could have gone either way. There were some great plays in there from TSM and like Biofrost for the ending play, but overall, like Immortals, they clearly are near the top number 1 or 2 at the moment.
Yeah, definitely playing some very solid League of Legends. Apex, though, still showing us that they not showing us that they can quite compete at that level.
It's unclear where Apex are entirely because they're playing better than a lot of the bottom teams, but they aren't playing as good as those top teams, so this middle of the pack is where they're really settling in.
Ooh. Apex try to pull off the exact same play that Immortals did on the other side of the map, but aren't able to get anything with it as Ray split pushes on the opposite side.
And I talked about this in the CLG Energy game today, where macro play is becoming more and more of how you win League of Legends as opposed to individual skill. It's all team-based. Laud was saying it as well on Envy, because it's pretty much true. Like, you can't make that type of play where you get 2 turrets ahead off of individual skill. It's off of the wave manipulation. It's off of the macro play. And Pobelter,
ooh, Chrono shifts to dodge the 4th bullet, but the rest of Apex are still here. He's got flash. They try to engage. Keen gets caught, but cleanses the stun right away. Ooh, that minion just not quite going far enough. Keen
Ray pop goes. Ray's behind them.
Yeah, there's the Chaos Storm. Ray comes in. Will he be able to knock Wild Turtle in? He gets the double tap, but doesn't have enough damage to secure the kill. Amazingly, nobody's died. Special is double bob by Pobelter, who's finally going to go down. Support for mid laner. And Immortals are going to be forced to back away.
Well, Apex as well. I think Apex actually have less HP here, and because the Nami is around, they get to heal them up a bit. So Adrian's pick coming up huge. It's going to be another turret here.
Spear snare finds Hootie. Laser, is not enough. Not only the heal, but also just out of range. Immortals break down the mid-tier 1. 6 turrets to 3 in favor of Immortals.
Oh, that Keen laser. It like burned his toes. It was so close.
Yeah.
Pobelter trying to get some dodges on, but ends up going down. Arrow comes out, hits Keen, has to use the cleanse. And that minion's following special doesn't quite get him. Smite flashes away. Ultimate comes down, and then Huni roots up Keen, and the exhaust comes through. Adrian with the clutch exhaust onto Ray, so he doesn't eat a devastating charge, and then the full damage of the Onslaught of Shadows, because it would have done a decent amount. Wild Turtle may have still gotten out alive, but it's that exhaust down, and a good reaction there from the support of Immortals.
Yeah. Makes it an even trade for kills, but Immortals still opening up these minor advantages, despite what seemed like an even trade in kills, getting that turret down. It's now 4,000 gold. Rainover, times his tunnel perfectly to escape from the tether of X Special, and is able to get out.
And this bottom lane has been, like, despite what you see in the kills, it has been heavily in favor of Immortals. Immortals, their engages have been better, while Turtle's been playing fantastically.
Whoa.
And he's 60 CS up.
Curtain has been dropped. Ray is chasing in, doesn't have ghost inside, but the bullet snipes Adrian from long range. Keen chases forward, dodges one.
Threading the needle there. Getting between both Pobelter and Wild Turtle to snipe out Adrian. And Ray doesn't pull the trigger. He almost has Ghost back up.
Whoa, arrow down the mid lane. Keen avoids that one as Huni eats yet another snare. Taking some big damage. Oh, that grenade. Here comes the rest of Apex looking to answer back after a patient early game.
Yeah, honestly, an early game that was not going their favor at all in terms of turrets. They were getting out-rotated and out-farmed in a lot of their lanes. It was really Ray who had his advantage. But this bottom lane, the 60 CS, is absolutely huge. But the kill from Apollo, the snipe out, is going to help him a lot in getting back into this game and being that armor penetration threat, which I really like that build in this matchup because there's so many swishes on Immortals that it's completely worth it.
1 bullet, 2.
Waits a long time to flash, and then he walks back. And, just gets blown up.
Mountain Drake is spawning, and there's a minute and a half left on this Rift Herald. And immediately, Immortals try to burn it down. Grouped up as 4, they are doing some serious damage.
That's a lot of people to do this Rift Herald. They want it very quickly at 18 and 3/4. So it's going to last a long time, almost the duration of the game here. It goes on just under 40 minutes.
But Apex finally making some decisive calls. Instead of going for the 4-1 style we saw in game number 1, they're going for a 4+1. 4 members grouped, and Ray flanking with Hecarim for team fights instead of split pushing in side lanes. Yes. So far, it has worked, evening it up in kills.
And it's interesting because Ray may be hitting that point where he can beat Huni in a duel. He was 2 levels up just a second ago, but Huni got the Rift Herald buff. And I know it's Rise and it's halved for, the damage is actually halved for ranged champions, but it makes him take less. And it also gives Rise some tower killing ability. So Huni can now split push and it doesn't feel awful to do.
Which we now see him doing on the top side of the map, shoving a wave in. His teleport's about to come off of cooldown, but Mountain Drake has already spawned, and Ray has got his cooldown already. So we'll see if that Mountain Drake is going to be contested by the two teams as they're fighting over vision. Adrian spotted out. Sweeper, oh, he sees it. Don't know if they managed to see Adrian, though, as Shrimp cheats forward with the rest of his team. They're trying to pick onto Shrimp. The CC chain is real. He's going to drop. Oh, right quick. And the tidal wave stops the curtain call. Pobelter still has his chrono shift. He walks back in. Stop all damage on Pobelter. Rain over flash. Knock up onto 3. Ray in the front is going to go down as Immortals are doing some serious work to Apex. Apollo retreats as Huni is going to be dropped by Keen, kiting it out. Snare misses on the far side. That's 2 for 1 Immortals.
And Apex caught a little bit off guard there. Shrimp instantly blown up. No time to react with the flash. The ward had spotted out Adrian, but it never revealed Wild Turtle's position to my knowledge.
The hero steal. There's no smite. Special. Rainover is able to secure Mountain Drake. That's the second Drake for Immortals. 21 minutes in. And again, taking these tiny incremental advantages off the picks.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, Wild Turtle combo, and great wave there. It hits Apollo as well, who makes the mistake of going into the curtain call while it's in transit. The flash knock up onto 3 for Rainover, absolutely beautiful. They're able to take out Ray before he can use his Onslaught of Shadows effectively. And then Huni a little too far forward. I mean, the guy's a bit underleveled.
Yeah.
Or the top laner at the moment, just slightly. And then when a level 13 Victor walks up and bops you.
Lasers your face.
Yeah, especially since he went with a different route. He went for the Rylai's and the blue for 2 route, so he doesn't have the upgraded Chaos Storm just yet.
Whoa, he needs a lot of crowd control and goes down as even Huni gets an assist on that one.
Just out of nowhere, Keen doesn't expect that to happen, and that's what Immortals are doing is they up the tempo of the game, and it's funny because when Immortals get behind, they up it even more to try and run you around. And they're doing it really well here. They're ahead, and they're just going to keep trying to snowball that because they know they're stronger at this point in time.
Yeah. If you're wondering how that happened, Wild Turtle did fire an arrow out of the dark in mid lane and managed to catch Keen. But now they're trying to shove down mid lane. Tidal Wave is used, and they surf it forward onto that tier 2 turret. It is going to drop. 7 turrets to 3. Immortals controlling these objectives in very dominant fashion.
That's every tier 2. They have every tier 2 turret of their opponents down at 22 minutes. That's some dominance. And Keen, standing still, walked off to the left, didn't choose right, and Huni was behind him anyway. It's a long lane, but he had flash, and that arrow really ruined his day. Gotta watch out for those. When you're up against an Ashe, she fell out of the meta for a very long time, but she's definitely back.
Oh, they're going to race down mid lane. Ghost is even used, but Huni manages to get the snare. He shields himself up, and Ray in the front goes down. Pobelter flanking from behind, forces the flash out of Keith. He's got cleanse. Will he be able to get out of the eventual stun? Is he taking a lot of damage? The bomb. Oh, no, he sidesteps. But Adrian, flash secure, ebb and flow.
And Immortals turn up the pace once again. Keep fighting. They're a little bit stronger, and then just push into the base. This will be their second inhibitor turret already.
23 minutes in, they're going to take this middle inhibitor and swing easily to the top one. Still 20 seconds before Keen gets up. The spear finds some good damage onto Wild Turtle. Oh, there's the curtain call. Huni going to tank it up with Rainover. All of Immortals are lined up right now. Wild Turtle, ooh, Chrono Shift just in case that bullet was going to miss.
Yeah, better safe than sorry there. The Chrono Shift cooldown for Pobelter is sitting at 45 seconds now, since it was used a couple seconds ago, so it's a 56-second cooldown for him.
Mm-hmm.
So he will have it back before any real fight happens, but
Ray's chasing. Yeah, Rainover is still trying to kite it around. Huni and Pobelter walk it out while Wild Turtle and Adrian are going to sneak on past Ray. They see him.
He's not going to find exactly the people he wants, but he's going to be able to get
turn on the Huni.
Huni.
He's caught by the snare, and Ray slaughters him.
A little bit of overkill there because he got really low from Shrimp, but still, an effective kill. They're going to need that.
Yeah.
Because they need to buy time. Top inhibitor, mid inhibitor down. Every kill you can get, every pick you can get, you go for. The arrow backwards after the root is just a great combination here. The Ryze and Ashe, these two great champions in the meta, are synergizing so well in Immortals' hands.
Yeah.
And this is absolutely great too, because it's Prey Seeker misses, and it's like, oh, okay, fine. I guess I'll flash for it. It's like, it's that whole, you do it first, and then if it messes up, I'm just gonna cover your weakness.
I think I
Don't
could
show your weakness.
I think I could hear Ray mashing his keyboard from here. The Onslaught of Shadows backwards. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out.
It's been a frustrating game to be a Hecarim player, honestly.
Yeah.
Because he has to buy Trinity Force, and there's all this magic damage that he has to watch out for. It's Ashe, who has a way to CC you. It's a point and click from the Ryze, and then the Ashe is just going to slow you the entire time, too. So it becomes incredibly frustrating. You basically have a one-burst combo, and then you hope that you can stay alive for the rest of it. You have to build tanky from there on out.
So very difficult for Ray. Apex trying to play around him once again, but not able to, as Immortals sieging the last remaining inhibitor. 26 minutes in, they have been increasing the pace of their games, of this game and the previous one in particular. Taking it nice and slow in the beginning, accruing these small advantages before accelerating faster than Apex can keep pace. Now they're looking for this final one. Keen gets some good damage. Flash knockup. He's going to be locked down. Cleanse gets him away. Tidal Wave forces the disengage, but Immortals are focused on the inhibitor turret. Flash there from Huni. He goes right onto Apollo. Ray is in the back line, but he doesn't have any backup. Huni is snared. Chrono Shift means that he's going to be able to soak this damage as Immortals pick up the turret and get the kill onto Ray. Huni's back up at nearly full health. 3 inhibs down, and Apex are left standing there dumbfounded as Immortals are cleaning up their base, trying to end this series 2-0. Will they be able to do it, though? They've got relatively low health. Shrimp in the front. Tosses out a few spears, but doesn't quite have enough as the minions are being escorted in.
Yep, that's what they're trying to do, is to stall for these minions. Apex don't have enough in the tank.
Oh, they turn it around on a Shrimp, who's able to heal it up, but with Shrimp gone, that's the front line, and Immortals take the 2-0 in 2 27-minute games.
Absolutely dominating performance there from Immortals, showing that they're still at the top of their game. Everybody's talking about, oh, they look a little bit rusty. It's like, no, that was a fantastic game from them, a fantastic set. They looked incredibly dominant, and Wild Turtle that game.
Yeah.
Wild Turtle's arrows on point. 100% kill participation is Ashe. And almost 100 CS up over Apollo. Apollo sat at 169, and then Wild Turtle was 250. Apollo was shut out of that game by the champion picks, by the pressure in that bottom lane. And that's where their large advantages were coming from, is Wild Turtle making those plays happen.
Yeah, playing around that bottom lane very effectively. They had the support of Rainover. Whenever anything looked dire, Rainover would, his jungle sense would go off, and he would, I need to help my bottom lane, and just head down there almost psychically, playing across the map.
And this game for Apex is a little heartbreaking, because if you look at like post-game stats, like Keen did almost twice as much damage as a Pobelter. He's doing a lot of damage on that Victor. He's doing well. And then Ray does only 600 more than the support at 4,400 damage. The Hecarim was not able to affect this game at all, and it was a pick that was shut down. You have the exhaust. You have so many ways with the Zillion and Ryze. Lock up, stop him from killing your teammates, and that's just an awful game to be a Hecarim player. Like, I felt the frustration there where you have to do something.
Yeah.
Not because you're like, oh, I'm desperate. It's like, that is your kit, is you have to do the moves that he's doing, but they're all pretty much countered. There's always an answer.
Yeah, Immortals just playing so cleanly as a team, however. Not only do they have individually talented players in every role, but they just look so cohesive. And that's really what contributed to their dominance last split. The fact that they were so hard to crack because they moved so well as a unit.
Yeah, I remember there was a point where it was like, what's the weak spot in Immortals? And people were like throwing it out there like, oh, it's Bobelter, Adrian. It's like, where is it?
Yeah.
It's like, this team is legitimately really good. They can play through any lane. And we saw it there as well because people were talking about Wild Turtle may not be having the same types of performances he was before, but he's still adjusting to the meta appropriately. And he's still doing his job as an engager. And he's on it. I honestly think that game from him was spectacular. Not from like a quadra kill at the Nexus kind of a play, but more of this is how you make the game not so much you are carried as an AD carry, because we talk about how much AD carries benefit when their team is ahead.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this AD carry created the advantages for his team.
Yeah, opening it up. Apex, on the other hand, that's the sort of thing that they struggle with in particular. If Ray isn't breaking the game open, he just has... Yeah, it's very difficult for them to break it out. But we've got some replays on deck. Before we check them out, though, we're going to head over to Riv on stage for an interview with Immortals AD carry.
Like, I'm just going to be Overwatch Pro now.
What's going on, guys? Thank you very much. Great cast on the day. I'm joined by Wild Turtle, the first. We're already getting into it here in the conversation. I had to ask him, Immortals doing so well again, TSM doing well, but we see still some of the top teams faltering. What edge is it that you guys, the top teams, have right now that you just keep using?
I think we just know how to play the map a lot better than the other teams, and I think it definitely shows that TSM and even us now, like, we know how to play the map pretty well. So yeah, I think that's the edge we have over the other teams.
Well, we've seen this before, Wild Turtle. We have seen Immortals do well, go the long haul, but is there room this time for the mistake? Is Immortals kind of closing that off, or may there be complacency again?
Yeah, I think we won't get complacent this split again because we kind of learned a lesson last split, and I think for going forward, we're just gonna always try our best and try a lot of different comps. Like, even though we're winning now, we're gonna obviously try a lot more new things.
Well, it seems that the practice is paying off still at the top of the table, but I do have a final question for you. Cloud9 coming up tomorrow. Do you have what it takes to shut down the sneaky W?
Yeah, we're gonna have what it takes to shut down the sneaky W with the Turtle W. We're gonna use that one, and yep.
Turtle, always a pleasure, man. Congratulations on the win and best of luck in the rest of your matches. Right now, we're gonna throw it back to Dash and crew to break down the matches.
Thank you very much, Riv. Immortals 2-0. They're just continuing the trend on the day here over Apex in another very dominant victory for them. What we've come to expect out of this team is the fact that with small advantages, they will push them hard. They'll make a few mistakes here and there, but it's never going to be enough to necessarily turn the game back around.
I kind of like this one, though, because it's a different feel on that idea where it was way more macro focused than it often is. Sometimes it's like, you know, a macro advantage in the sense like they get to the spot first, they get to the fight first, or they force a fight where you weren't expecting it. This was a lot more just like
straight up map movement.
Yeah, to get to just be faster everywhere, and that's really where it came from.
All right, so we'll get into that in a moment. First, I want to hit champion select because a couple interesting things here. The Ryze top lane is intriguing just because Ryze has been a wildly contested champion across all regions, but primarily in the mid lane. Here, Immortals is kind of throwing a curveball 2 games in a row, saying we're going to take this Ryze to the top lane and keep you guessing as to where we would have put it as a flex.
Assuming you can build a good comp around it and you have a top laner who can play Ryze, I actually really, really like playing it top lane because I think it's gotten to the point where like a lot of people are banning it, but they don't actually play it well. Like we see teams like always ban it, and then when it's up, it kind of like falls through and it's like late picked, and teams some teams are not prioritizing it, and I think, you know, Apex as a team, when you're like, who really wants to play Ryze on that team? The answer is like no one really.
Yeah.
And so if you're a team that can play Ryze top lane, great. You can now get 2 top tier mid laners, and so, or mid laners in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So you grab the Ryze and put it top, and it really doesn't have terrible matchups. It's more just like it makes your comp a little weird, and you have to deal with the stacking coming from a side lane character as opposed to a mid lane one. So it has its own struggles, but assuming you're up to the task, it can really abuse drafts, which I think we kind of saw.
Yeah, it's kind of a trend with Ryze. Every time he gets popular, is the same thing happens. Everyone starts banning it, so then no one's practicing it. No one actually wants to play it, but they're still banning it. On the flip side, I want to look at this Hecarim pick because, as we say, we like the Ryze flex to the top lane if you can play it and build a comp around it. The Hecarim picked here last rotation for Apex didn't really impress, didn't really achieve much.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Hecarim's exactly coming back into the meta a little bit.
As a top laner.
As a top laner. I can understand it a little bit as a jungle. Jungle pool is really open right now. The top tier picks aren't super oppressive, so I can understand this kind of like farmy 6 jungler. But top lane, I don't quite get it, because what made old Hecarim top lane so strong was you'd run TP, you'd rush home guards, and then you'd have monster TP.
You'd run Ignite TP.
Yeah, you'd run Ignite TP, so you'd win lane if you went standard, and if you're open map, you get your gold, you buy your home guards, and you just run to lanes and TP, and with the home guards now being just tacked on at 20 minutes,
right.
A lot of the biggest functions of it came before then, and you don't get those benefits anymore. So it seems just overall much weaker than it used to be.
Yeah, so now I want to get to what you were talking about, where this game hinged more on map movement and map play than it did necessarily on the classic Immortals. We're going to brawl you a little bit, get an advantage, and then just steamroll you by diving turrets. Here, Apex, again, showing their what's the word I'm looking for? Immaturity as a team here, in that they opt for a tier 2 turret trade against an inhib.
Yeah, and what was really nice to see out of Immortals was that they lost the laning phase a little bit, where Adrian was ganked and killed super early. So then Immortals decides, all right, we're probably not going to win lane anymore. Let's just start breaking the map open. And it leads to this crazy situation, minutes later, where they swap again and they're back topside now pushing turrets, and it just shows that Immortals isn't this like, we need to snowball rain over, we need to snowball Huni, excuse me. We need to do all that kind of stuff. They can say, oh, we lost lanes, let's swap and play smarter than you now. And that's exactly what they did. They were able to pick people off in side lanes after they opened the map up. Just showed a mastery over it.
Yeah, absolutely love to see an adjustment out of them, not playing the only style that most people have come to know or expect from them. Moving to player of the game, Wild Turtle, ADC going to pick it up this time around. Again, in dominant games, definitely look at most people, but 100% kill participation is already nuts. Happy to give him to him there, but also skill shot accuracy and stuff in this game was quite good.
Right, the comp kind of hinged on Turtles engages. We talked about how it's a little bit of a weird comp. They do have a very nice CC chain where they can go with the Rise and keep someone rooted in place a long time. And it all starts with Wild Turtle nailing these long range arrows. It let them get pickoffs in mid lanes, side lanes, at the start of team fights. Just overall, very useful. Turtle was kind of the catalyst for a lot of that.
All right, well, that's going to close out our series between Immortals and Apex on NALCS1. Actually, that does it for the entire stream on NALCS1. This has been such a fast day for these guys, but we're going to send you over to NALCS2, where Team Liquid currently up in Game 2 against Envy, about 7K at 29 minutes, so solid control on this game. Let's see if they can close out the series or if Envy can extend it to a Game 3. Check it out.